Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Wrestling Challenge Review Series for the 5th of June, 1994. We continue our foray into the Wrestling Challenge Review Series. Razor Ramon is up next. He is the former Intercontinental Champion. He's smacking around and beating up on PJ Walker as we go forward here. Of course, Diesel is your current Intercontinental Champion. Razor hits a choke slam. I have to wonder if this is some of the beginning support of Hall and the man who later becomes just incredible, Bam Bam Bigelow, managing to say he wants to go after Razor Ramon. I believe they are going to do battle at the King of the Ring. Anyway, Razor with a back suplex, and ultimately the Razor's Edge. 1, 2, 3, away we go. The return of Update, which is rare because we haven't seen Update in a while here on Wrestling Challenge, and the Update thing is the mocking of the Pat the Brat Piper, also interviews by both Roddy Piper and the King. Piper out there with a horse, basically saying that he wants to be a man of nature. Is all about the kids. He's not fighting for himself. He's fighting for the kids these days. Then we go to Doink. Doink in an enhancement match here, facing off with some really basic things. Just so we know, Stan Lane and Ted DiBiase. Also featuring the final special report segment focusing on the feud between Roddy Piper and Jerry Lawler. We mentioned that before. And Lord Alfred Hayes being more towards a heel direction. And Paul Bearer promo also included a King's Court report. And of course, Paul Bearer still searching for his Undertaker, where the world champion Bret Hart announces that he would have family member in his corner for his match with Diesel. That ends up being, of course, Jim Neidhart, who turns on him. Also includes Ray Rougeau conducting an in-person interview with Owen Hart, and we kind of go forward there. Doink the Clown with Dink defeating Ray Roy 141 with the whoopee cushion. During the bout, Jeff Jarrett cuts an insert promo on Doink. Ray Roy, a guy that I was in the Independence with, and he certainly was a bit of a carny back in the day, but he insisted that he was the original Mountie, which of course he was not. He had some independent fans fooled in the New England area at the time, but obviously claiming that he bought the gimmick was just an interesting run. Anyway, we move forward into the next in series. Of course, good old Doink hitting the upside down, a body slam, and then the whoopee cushion backbreaker to Phil Apollo. Pretty aggressive in the Doink role at the time. And Dink, still played by Tiger Jackson, one of the few smaller midget wrestlers left. And then we go to Virgil facing off against Jimmy Del Rey. Jim Cornette there with Jimmy Del Rey. And of course, this is a tag match. So, of course, Tom Pritchard along with Virgil. Virgil actually hitting a Japanese arm drag and a couple of drop kicks, and really does have a bit of a good comeback. Reverse thrust kick by Jimmy Del Rey. Virgil's tag partner here, who takes the actual loss for him, ends up being none other than enhancement talent, as it were. Mike Bell. They go 229. Del Rey pins Bell, hitting a dive off the top, and then Bell kind of gets hit midair in that. The Head Shrinkers, Jeff Jarrett defeats Mike Davis 155 with the figure 4 leg lock during the bout. Doink cuts a promo on Jarrett. Jarrett does a lot of strutting and cutting and talking during the segment. Jarrett basically trying to get under Doink's skin at the time. Jerry Jarrett, his father, was programming his son Jeff on Mania with Doink a whole bunch, and that actually gets turned out by Vince quite a bit there. Flapjack by Jarrett, and eventually gets the figure 4 on and gets the victory. Hype for the King of the Ring pay-per-view. We're moving forward to King of the Ring, IRS and Mabel. Bam Bam Razor and Bam Bam Double J and the 1-2-3 Kid. The Double J and 1-2-3 Kid match isn't bad. Nor is the Owen Hart and 1-2-3 Kid match in the second round of the tournament. Again, 8-man tournament, and second year in a row it's on pay-per-view. 1-2-3 Kid is very excited to get his hands on Double J. Double J has laid him out in the past. Hype for King's Court. Also, Bret Hart says that he will in fact have a family member, which ends up being, as mentioned, Jim the Anvil Neidhart in his corner to combat Shawn Michaels in Diesel's corner. The Head Shrinkers are up next, managed by both Alpha and Captain Lou Albano here in 1994. Captain Lou gets the nod for being the manager of what amounts to 20 different tag teams, or is it 20 different tag team title reigns in WWF history? Anyway, the Head Shrinkers, Samu and Fatu, managing to win the championships over the Quebecers and trying to get some semblance of teamwork out of that. Anyway, Mike Maldonado and Tony DeVito, 304. Fatu pins, or Samu pins his adversary, Mr. DeVito, off the top rope. Of course, DeVito eventually one of the Baldies. Then we go to IRS against Scott Taylor. Amazing how times fly. Obviously, Taylor, a New England independent standout at the time, and a guy who really did the majority of the New England television jobs for WWF. He kind of worked in the towns from about 92, 93, and manages to continue to be a guy who's willing to do just that. The Head Shrinkers as tag team champions, as mentioned before, not exactly a great thing. Owen Hart out there basically saying that he's going to be the king. He's going to be the King of Hearts, progressing that forward, and IRS getting a leg grapevine and other things on Scott Taylor, trying to cheat his way to a victory wherever he can. And then, obviously, the Executioners trying to get a slide off on the win over the Smoking Guns. Basically, they are running a skeleton crew, and it is obvious to see. We'll be back with more right after this.